Hey guys, it's Melanie. Welcome back, or welcome if you are new. I hope you are having a great day. In this video, I am going to be sharing my review of Kringle Reserve Bittersweet. This is a part of the Kringle 2025 Reserve Valentines collection. There are 3 fragrances in the lineup: Strawberry Prosecco, which I actually reviewed a little bit earlier on today, so if you missed that one, I will link it down below. There's the Bittersweet, obviously, we're going to discuss that in this video here, but there is also the Red Velvet, which I will be sharing my in-depth review of in a couple of days here. So again, if you are not already subscribed and you're interested in seeing more of my home fragrance related content, make sure you hit that subscribe button before checking out of today's video. Anyway, let's dig into the Bittersweet. For those of you that are considering the Bittersweet or the Red Velvet, if you are a fan of chocolate fragrances, I think both are done really well. They are slightly different from each other, but in a lot of ways, they are similar as well. If you are not like a true chocolate connoisseur, if typically all chocolate fragrances smell the same to you, I think you could pick one or the other. But if you are a little bit more particular about whether you like milk chocolate or dark chocolate, then there is some nuance there between the 2 chocolate scents. So in the Bittersweet, I feel like I get a much deeper, darker chocolate note, whereas the Red Velvet is going to come across as a little bit more of like a Dutch cocoa, almost milk chocolate type of fragrance. So per usual, let's read through these fragrance notes here. I will tell you what I actually detect in this fragrance. We'll discuss the strength and the throw. And then to round it out, we will discuss any burn issues, talk about the wicks, wick trimming, all of that fun stuff. So, okay, this scent description kind of makes me giggle a little bit because I feel like there's a lot listed here that I just don't smell in this scent at all. It almost feels like they just added like some words to the description because I don't know. Please do tell me if you pick this one up and if you have it already. Let me know if you pick up any of these interesting notes here. Okay, so the scent description reads: bittersweet, bergamot, mandarin, and apple flirt with chocolate and delicate violet flower before settling into a velvety base of vanilla, patchouli, musk, and amber, creating an aromatic symphony of decadent elegance. Okay, the top notes are vanilla, patchouli, musk, and amber. I don't tune out. Listen, if you heard patchouli and your immediate reaction was like, absolutely not, I don't smell any patchouli in here. So stick with me as we go through this, okay? So the top notes again, vanilla, patchouli, musk, and amber. The mid notes are chocolate and violet flower. The base is bergamot, mandarin, and apple. All right, so listen, this smells like a really deep, rich, dark chocolate. It's not an overly sweet chocolate fragrance, but do I smell even an ounce of patchouli in here? No. Do I smell an ounce of amber in here? Nope, no, I do not. Do I smell violet flower? No. Do I smell bergamot, mandarin, or apple? I don't. Do I smell some vanilla? Yeah, so that one, accurate to my nose. And listen, they could have, you know, put all of these notes together and somehow ended up with bittersweet, but I feel like this particular scent description and these notes might turn some people off who would actually really enjoy this fragrance. Like I said, this in no way, like whether I stick my nose just into the wax when it is lit or post burn, no, not even an ounce of patchouli hits me. Patchouli typically tends to be somewhat potent. You can have a very perfumey, beautiful patchouli, or you can have kind of that more like dirty, earthy patchouli. Neither of those are present here. I love amber. Listen, I am one of the biggest fans of amber ever, and I happen to really love a lot of these amber and patchouli fragrances that Kringle put out in 2024. It was kind of the year of perfume for Kringle, it seemed like. But yeah, no, that is not present in here. I really don't want anyone to look at this description and go, what? Absolutely not. I'm skipping it. Listen, if you like dark chocolate that doesn't have a lot of sweetness, there is some sweetness here. Listen, there is some sweetness, but it's like, the difference to me is like when I'm eating a like 90% dark chocolate versus a milk chocolate, right? To me, milk chocolate is just automatically sweeter tasting. Milk chocolate typically has a lot more sugar in it. Whereas dark chocolate is a little bit more of a focus on that pure like cacao type note. And that is what I smell here. This is pure, rich, not overly sweet dark chocolate with kind of a creamy, again, not overly sweet vanilla running throughout. I love this bittersweet. Now, if they didn't also release the red velvet at the same time, I would probably say that this is like one of my new favorite like dark chocolate fragrances, or just chocolate fragrances in general. But man, that red velvet is good. And typically I don't go for the milk chocolate. I prefer dark chocolate, but that red velvet, I'm telling you right now, if you are a fan of red velvet cake, that candle smells exactly like red velvet cake. But as far as this bittersweet goes, please don't be deterred by these fragrance notes. I don't smell even a hint of anything floral in here, a hint of anything fruity in here, and nothing perfumey in here at all. Just imagine that you are unwrapping a like 90, like, well, let's say like 70% and above like dark chocolate bar. Imagine opening one of those and just sticking it under your nose and taking a big whiff. That is what this candle smells like. And it is heavenly. It is so well done. My entire family loves this one. My entire family loves the red velvet. Now, my husband and Stella can't really tell the difference between the red velvet and the bittersweet. To them, both just smell like chocolate. But if you're a little bit of a chocolate connoisseur, I think you're going to be able to tell the difference. So one is going to be a little bit sweeter, which is going to be the red velvet. One is going to be a little bit bittersweet, if you will. I think this one is aptly named. It's not overly bitter. It's not like a straight up chocolate with no sweetness at all, but it's definitely a bittersweet. This is delicious, you guys. And the strength and throw has been really, really good here. This is one where I feel like it has kind of waffled between a 7 and an 8 in terms of strength. And in terms of the throw, when I have both of the chocolate, both the bittersweet and the red velvet going, it fills the entire house. So just on its own, I would say the throw of this is probably a 7, 7.5, not quite an 8. But when I have it alongside that red velvet, the whole house, I'm talking the downstairs, the upstairs, like the airflow, I'm kind of lucky in that the airflow pushes the scent up our stairwell here. Here, I'll show you. See that big old hallway right there? So a lot of times fragrance will very easily travel up there and it'll kind of scent up that whole hall up there. Both of these at the same time are quite the powerhouse. And if you're just a chocolate fan in general, you're going to want to grab these. They are so delicious. So again, it's linked down below. There's also a discount code down there if you want to save a little bit of extra money. But I'm telling you right now, if you are a fan of chocolate, just in general, if you're a chocolate connoisseur, you're going to want to check these chocolate fragrances out. I'm a big fan. I will be reordering the bittersweet, and I already have the red velvet coming my way because I did place an order at launch time. I didn't actually have the candles in my hand the day that they launched. They arrived the day after the launch as PR. So yeah, listen, I live in Oregon. That's a long ways from Massachusetts. It takes my candles forever to get here. So I was a little bit bummed that I couldn't share a first sniff impressions prior to the launch, but these candles are all still available. So there's no rush or anything like that. Definitely make sure you are making a, you know, informed decision when purchasing any candle. But this one here, 2 big fat thumbs up in terms of the fragrance, 2 big fat thumbs up in terms of the strength and the throw. Would I like this one to be a little bit stronger? Maybe. I don't know though. I feel like, I don't know, with chocolate, I think it can be easy for that to become cloying or just too much in a way after a little while. I've had these chocolate scented candles going for up to 5 hours, but usually around the 5-hour mark, I'm kind of like, okay, you know, I think I'm done with chocolate for the day. So this is not one that I would probably want to see in the 4-wick format. I talk a lot about how I really am excited about the new Kringle 4-wick format, but I don't think that every single fragrance will translate into that, because I think some scents can just be too much, right? There's a lot of us that really like strong fragrances, but I think even when it comes to chocolate that it can be a little bit overwhelming sometimes. And this is coming from someone who really prefers that their candles smack them in the face. So for me, I think when I repurchase, even if this is available at some point in a 4-wick format, I will stick with the 2-wick. It's delicious, you guys. I have had no burn issues with this one per usual. I want to show you the overhead shot here so that you can see what we are working with. So nice clean burn. You do you see those little like black dots in there? So what you want to know about this one and the red velvet, to be totally honest, is that the wicks, ooh, this is very off center. There we go. The wicks do form pretty big mushroom tops on both the Bittersweet and the red velvet. You are going to need to trim these wicks. And as you are burning them, there are carbon balls that are forming, and sometimes they do fall into the wax. So far, that has not affected the fragrance at all, but I have kind of taken to trying to fish those out after I extinguish the candle. So before the wax hardens back up, I will just take a, I have this little like nail cuticle pusher thing. It kind of works perfect to like dig things out of wax. So I've been using that to fish out those little mushroom tops that you see floating around in there. I don't make it a point to get every single one out, but I don't want those necessarily just marinating in the wax, if you will. Trim these wicks. I will tell you that when I got this candle, if you watched my weekly home fragrance roundup last Saturday, you saw that these were filled so high. The pour level was literally right here at the top of the label. Typically it's a little bit further down, like about here. So my wicks were sticking way up out of here. Please don't trim the Kringle candle wicks before the first burn. Light them. They will essentially self-level, if you will. And then you are just going to trim off the mushroom tops for each subsequent burn, but do not trim the wicks on the first burn. I realize that sometimes the wicks look really long, but just don't mess with them. Trust me. So anyway, for what it's worth, I love Bittersweet. I think I love Red Velvet more. Like I said, I'm just a big fan of Red Velvet Cake right now, so that might be where that preference is coming from. But this is a great dark chocolate fragrance. If you're interested at all, 2 thumbs up from me. I highly recommend it. Again, I'll have it linked down below. Check it out if you're interested. Let me know if you have any questions. The review of Red Velvet will be up on Saturday morning, so if you're interested, make sure you're subscribed. That will pop up in your subscription feed as soon as it goes live here on my channel. Again, I appreciate you being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Toodaloo.